In today's video, let's have a look at my favorite drill, Golf 101, sometimes referred to as the 9 to 3 drill. What are you trying to do? You're making some swings where you're going from lead arm parallel in the backswing to trail arm parallel in the follow through. And it gives you the opportunity to really make sure all the key components of a good golf swing are present in yours, and gives you enough awareness so you can modify them if they're not, and you can really make some diligent work, make some true progress with your golf game. Let's get started. So how can you use Golf 101 as a drill? Every single time you start one of your practice sessions, this is how I would begin. I would take hold of a short iron, 9-iron, 8-iron, and I'd make these swings where you go left arm for me parallel to the ground, so lead arm parallel to the ground, trail arm parallel to the ground. And you don't have to do any of these swings fast. You're doing them at a speed that's manageable for you, and where you can raise some awareness internally as to what exactly it is you're doing. So let's get some reference points. What are the basics of the swing that this is training you to do? It's training you to be able to monitor where your weight is. It's training you to be able to monitor where your head is. Are you making a nice center turn? Is your head staying relatively stable? It enables you to monitor your hand path. Are you tracing an arc around your body, or are you doing the opposite and just going straight up and down? It enables you to monitor how straight your arms are. It enables you to monitor whether your handle is forwards. It enables you to monitor whether your knees are changing flex and when. So it really gives you the opportunity to focus on everything you need to do to build a golf swing that will take you forwards towards your best golf. So if I'm playing some shots here and I'm starting to warm up just like this, and I promise you the best players in the world do this all the time, I think it's very easy to get carried away and to feel like you have to make your biggest swing at the fastest speed. And invariably, that's what people do when they practice. They go to the range, they hit ball after ball, and they just give it their usual pelt, hoping that something is better. If they see good shots, they think they've had a good session. If they see bad shots, they think they've had a bad session, but with no real knowledge of why or exactly what's happening. So we're going to boil it down to this drill, Golf 101, and quite simply, what I want you to do is focus on the finish position. Okay, and the finish position is when the trail arm's parallel to the ground here, and there's a specific list of relationships of alignments I want you to have in place. So as I'm doing this swing, I'm going to try and start hitting the golf ball, and I'm finishing right here. So if I start from the ground up, what is it I should be seeing? I like to see my trail foot banked, so I'm showing the studs underneath my shoe to the person that will be standing behind me. I like to see the heel of this foot closer to the target than the toe. The right knee has come halfway across the lead knee. The lead knee is in front of the lead heel. As I go upwards, the knees are losing flex. I'm trying to get them to be as straight as I possibly can, and consequently my belt buckle is rising also. My pelvis is moving upwards. As I reach this point, the point of the body that's most forwards here should be in front of the heel. So the point around my belt buckle that's most forwards is in front of my heel. My knee has turned 90 degrees. My hips have turned 80-ish degrees. As I keep going upwards, my upper body is extended, so my chest points upwards towards the sky. My arms are straight. My left arm in the club specifically still form a straight line. So I've still got a relatively level left wrist, lead wrist. My trail wrist is still extended, so bent backwards, like so. I have pressure underneath both armpits. My arms, my upper arms are on top of my pecs. My right shoulder is closer to the ground than my left shoulder. My right ear is closer to the ground than my left ear. I am looking upwards with my gaze towards the sky where my golf ball is. And those are all the relationships, all the alignments you're trying to get as you're doing this drill. And you want to do them slowly enough that you're able to achieve each and every one of those. If I do another one and one of those elements I won't do quite as I'd anticipated, I don't know if you can see which one it is, but it's the knees, right? So there's too much flex in the knees. So from here, I need to start to raise up, straighten the knees, raise the pelvis. So even if this doesn't happen seamlessly during the course of your swing, it doesn't matter. This is the whole point of it. The whole point is that once you've finished your swing, you then make the adjustments that you need to make. If I hit one more, and again, you try and spot what it is I haven't done quite right. I feel like everything's in position. I'm looking through my list. One thing that isn't is my arms. My arms are not straight. My left wrist is not flat. So I'm going to then adjust it and I'm going to go there. And as I do that, my brain is processing that information. I need to know what my destination is so I can try and achieve it. If you're taking the train has a label at the top of it telling you what city, what town it's going to. And without that, you'd have no information. You wouldn't know whether that's the right train for you. And it's the same thing here in the golf swing. If you have a very specific idea, notion of what it should look like, what it is you're trying to achieve, you have a much better chance of doing it. Now let's do the same thing from the down the line view. So again, as I'm hitting these shots, as I'm making this motion, what you should start to see during the backswing, and from here we'll see it nicely, is that as I make my backswing, I'm really making my hands trace an arc inwards, like so. They're not going back in a straight line. So again, if you have any notion of width in your swing and you've interpreted width as being a linear straight line back like this, get rid of that. It's simply the fact that your lead arm stays straight and your hands and club heads trace concentric arcs going backwards, upwards, inwards throughout the course of your backswing, right here. So make sure you do trace an arc inwards. And you are doing this slowly enough that you can monitor it, you can feel it, right here. Then if we go back to those finish alignments, so I'm in position. Again, from the ground up, you can see the studs under my trail foot. The foot is on about a 45-degree angle to the ground, so this would be 90. It's on a 45. The trail knee is pointing 90 degrees. It's pointing towards the target. There's no obvious gap between my legs. As I'm in position here, you can see how this hip's a little bit higher than this hip. This shoulder's a little bit higher than this shoulder. So I've side bent to the right as I've come through. So I'm side bending in the opposite direction to the turn. So I'm turning to the left, but I'm side bending to the right. You can see how the hands are not lifted above the pitch of the shoulders. So my hands aren't up here, right here. You can see the left arm club in that angle, in that flat angle, that straight line relationship. You can see the extension in the trail wrist. You can see how the club face points somewhat to the wall that's behind me as I'm standing here. So the club face isn't rotating so it faces upwards to the sky. It's not rotating downwards so it points down to the ground. It's towards the wall behind me. As I'm playing these shots, ball flight wise, what I should be seeing is shots that start to the right of target. That's what I'm trying to do, and have them curve back just a little bit to the left. So I'm in position. I hold it here. I go through my list of checklists. If there's something I feel like I could have done a little bit better, I'm going to rotate my knee here, in this case, just a bit more, right here, but I liked where I was. I've checked all those relationships. Again, if I do one that isn't quite right, and again, if you can, try and see which one I'm doing blatantly incorrectly. I'm here, and same as earlier, I've really flexed this lead arm, so I'm going to straighten it out back to where I want it to be. So again, these are your lists of relationships, of alignments, which you're trying to seek out shot after shot. And you're trying to hit this shot that starts to the right of the target and comes back towards the left. Over time, you can learn to do this faster and faster, and that will ultimately be the goal. But you will always have this structure within your swing. This isn't a drill in the sense you're trying to exaggerate something, you're trying to make you feel more. This is simply how you ought to be swinging. So your swing is going to go through these points, it's going to go through these stages as you're swinging. each and every time. It's just for when you get to your full motion, you might keep side bending and extending and turning just a little bit longer, so you'll add a little bit more motion going back, and the same on the target side, so you'll increase your range of motion to help you increase your speeds to be able to play the golf course and the number of shots that's satisfactory to you. But I repeat, none of this is an exaggerated motion. This is exactly what you want the swing to be going through during those different steps. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the content, then please don't forget to like and subscribe and even share with your friends. And if you have any questions, obviously do put them down below, and I look forward to trying helping you out of your game. Happy golfing.